creepy, and cool TikToks that will blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
British.
It's been a pleasure to have you watching this program on your telly.
American.
Between bites of burgers and pizza, try not to change the channel.
My God, Valley Girl.
Because it's like just a minute or two before we're back. That's gonna be like just so cool. You wouldn't believe it. I just can't even.
God, Irish.
I'll fight you if you change the channel. I don't care if your man's watching. I'm coming right through the screen to get you.
Oh my God. Okay, Scottish. Blair.
Stay right here, because it's too bloody cold and black as Earl's Hell's waistcoat outside. Hey.
Oh my God. Australian.
And there's a spider as big as a dog. You wouldn't want to run out to those outback, you drongo.
You drongo. Okay, Nigerian.
And once you are back, we promise I, David Oyelowo, will give you each $1,000.
Okay, best for last. What's your Texas flag?
Oh no, y'all come on right back. Now you hear?
David Oyelowo, everybody. That was amazing. I am so impressed right now. I would have failed at that.
The Texans are gonna kill me.
Texan. No, I'm Texan. I love it.
I love it. English is such a rich language.
Okay, it has officially been 1 week that I've been using the iPhone 16, and I promised you guys that I would do an update to say whether I was going to keep it or send it back. And guess what? I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I'm sending it back. And I really didn't freaking want to do this because I'm still using the iPhone 13, right? I thought 3 years. Surely this is a good enough upgrade. And I'm shocked, like, the things that they advertise, so the 3 years that I haven't upgraded, they've introduced the action button, the dynamic island, and the camera button. Physically, that's the difference. All of which, absolute gimmicks. Didn't use any of that. In fact, this, people are turning off because it's so annoying. And I can attest to that. I didn't use this once. Ready for the passion. Other things. The camera, marginally better. You might see a tiny little speck. Is it worth $1,600? No. So, unfortunately, the only thing that would make the difference is Apple Intelligence, and there's not even there. So, I'm sending it back. Whenever Apple Intelligence comes through, I might try again. But until that point, iPhone 16, even for 13, not worth the upgrade. Save your money, and I'm probably going to wait until the 17 at this point.
Trust me on this. Give the Samsung S24 Ultra a try, or wait for the S25 on January.
Some more breaking news. Thousands of Bank of America customers got a surprise when they couldn't see their account balances online.
This morning and into the afternoon, as many logged onto their app, that balance came out as zero. Again, this was online, not at the local Bank of America branches. Now, this all started this morning, according to reports, and it spiked around 12:45 p.m., according to Down Detector, which collects data on outages. Now, during that time, customers logging onto their Bank of America app had issues. Some were experiencing that balance of zero, nothing, no money in their bank account. Now, Bank of America responding, saying some clients are experiencing an issue accessing their accounts and balance information today. These issues have been addressed and have largely been resolved. We apologize for any inconveniences. So again, if you're experiencing any issues with your Bank of America app, don't worry. Bank of America is on it and in the midst of resolving the problem.
Anyone experience this? Please drop a comment.
This woman wanted to sell the Pope's slippers. You won't believe the incredible cost.
I have some, what I think are very interesting items.
Okay.
That I don't think you maybe have ever seen before. These are papal slippers. They belonged to Pope Leo the 13th.
Where in the world did you get these?
My aunt was a nun, and I was helping clean out some of her closets. And I said, Auntie, what's in this cute little suitcase? She said, oh, just some slippers that belonged to Pope Leo the 13th.
And do you know anything about him?
He was Pope from 1878 until 1903 when he died, and he had the third longest papacy in Pope history.
I'm just still sort of overwhelmed. Pope Leo was definitely up there on the list of famous popes. He thought science and religion should coexist, which was pretty controversial at the time.
We also have the cap that was worn by Pope Leo the 13th. We also have his stockings.
I'm amazed. We just don't get stuff like this walking through the door every day.
What do you want to do with this stuff?
Well, I would like to sell them.
Well, we can sit here and talk all day about these slippers. We don't know a damn thing. Let's call somebody.
Yeah. So let me go make a phone call. Like I said, rarely am I speechless, but this is...
You are this time. Let's go.
Okay. So check this out. It was supposedly owned by the Pope, Leo the 13th. The Pope's shoes, the Pope's hat.
All right.
His socks.
This is interesting. Okay, well, let's take a look at them. The construction appears absolutely correct. They had a leather sole. The uppers would be velvet like this. Oh, this is good. It's a satin interior. It's handmade. It's gold threading on it, all of which is correct. Now, the Tsuchetta, I can tell, is not in the best of shape. The problem here is the Tsuchetta is done with silk. You can see this surface layer has almost completely disintegrated. The inner lining is a very soft kid leather, and that would make sense.
All right, so what do you think? Did these belong to the Pope?
Like for part 2.
I would put them up in a private auction and get more than 15K. What do you think?
So who are you making this for? You doing this?
It's just for my channel. It's about the legends.
How do you determine the legends?
I just know. What's your name?
Greg Williams.
And where are we?
Gregory's Gourmet Desserts, Oakland's Underground Bakery.
Ooh, Underground Bakery.
1987. I was working along the wharf in San Francisco. I used to buy this cheesecake that I fell in love with. They stopped making it. I was hurt that I couldn't find the cheesecakes anymore, so I told my friend about it, and she said, make it yourself. She went out and she bought me a cookbook and a springform pan, and all of a sudden I found myself making cheesecakes. My first big account, they ordered 26 cheesecakes. I managed an apartment building in San Francisco, so I used every empty apartment's kitchen to make the 26 cakes. Everybody in the building knew I was a baker.
You think people in Oakland know about Gregory's?
The people that are supposed to know about Gregory's. It didn't take off like I thought it would. I thought that it would be an overnight sensation. It's been a humbling place, but spiritually it's helped me a lot. People see me and think that, oh, that's Gregory. They see that part and they don't see behind the scenes here. Like I'm talking to you at 9:30 at night. I'm gonna be here for a few more hours. And it's not an overnight sensation thing.
I mean, I started off by telling you I think you're a legend. Do you think you're a legend?
Nah, I don't think anybody would call me a legend. You've been doing it. What is legend to you?
To me, a legend is somebody who has a passion for something and a vision and sticks with it for years and years.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
What a humble man, full of wisdoms. I would love to hear his story.
An 81-year-old man in Montana who's been charged with federal felony wildlife crimes for cloning a giant foreign sheep here in the U.S. for hunting purposes. Let me try to explain this. So this 81-year-old man, his name is Arthur Schubarth. Oh. He imported sperm, tissue, and testicles from a Marco Polo sheep, the largest in the world, and then successfully took that material and made a full living sheep out of it.
Wow.
Then he crossbred that sheep with a Rocky Mountain Bighorn sheep and created a hybrid sheep that he called the Montana Mountain King. And the plan was to sell those, which he actually did, to people who wanted to stock preserves exclusively for hunting. The authorities were not fans of this move, and they've given him a 6-month sentence. The judge said this is to deter anyone from, quote, changing the genetic makeup of the creatures on this earth.
I can't wait to hear the judge's take on transgenders.
And suddenly realizes his adopted dog understands him.
Be a darling and fetch me some sugar.
As Doug watched, he came up with a bold idea. He commanded the dogs to infiltrate the mansions of the rich. At night, the dogs stole their jewelry, even though the rich people called the police. But who would suspect a dog? Until investigators from the insurance company stepped in. They noticed this pack of stray dogs. Eventually, he made his way to Doug's place. But as soon as he walked through the front door, he was detected by the sharp dogs. The clever corgi alerted his owner. Doug turned his head to look at the camera. He's got a gun trained on the guard Doberman. In order to prevent the dogs from being hurt, he had no choice but to open the side door and let them in.
Kids, get ready. We have company.
When the man saw that Doug was alone, he got excited. He asked Doug at gunpoint where the jewels were. When Doug heard this, he understood. He wanted to take the jewelry, but because of the gun in his hand, he could only tell the man the combination to the safe. The man was ecstatic to get the jewelry. He even said yes to Doug's request for dinner. But the next moment he knew he was wrong, because he spotted 2 Irish wolfhounds. They were watching him with great interest. As Doug tapped his spoon, a German shepherd rushed up to him. The man never expected to die. He would become the main course of the meal. Doug and the dogs became famous, and his fame soon attracted a boy. He was different from the others. He came to Doug for help. A gang had recently emerged in the area. They were bullying people in the name of protection money. He wanted Doug to help. The next day, Doug came to the gang's territory dressed as a black widow. He saw the gangster walk into a bar. He turns to his dogs and gives them an order. A Jack Russell ran into the bar with a cell phone in his mouth. At the same time, Doug took out his cell phone. The dog jumps up on the table, throwing the cell phone in front of the gangster. The cell phone rings just in time. The gangster picks up the phone, puzzled. While he was talking to the other guy, Doug gave the order to the sheepdog again.
First of all, for your own good health, I want you to sit still. Could be very dangerous for your future, assuming you're thinking of starting a family one day.
I think movie name is Dogman.
See someone over 40 out in public after 9 p.m., there's a 100% chance they took a nap earlier in the day.
Traitor is supposed to be a secret.
I know that there was a documentary on Netflix. It was called The Root Cause.
Yes.
And it exposed a lot of things that you're talking about. And it educated the population on a lot of things that you're talking about. And then it mysteriously disappeared. It's gone.
It was a class action lawsuit by the American Association of Endodontists. And they said it was scaring the public or something ridiculous.
You mean scaring the public into not doing it so it ruins their money?
Well, yes. I mean, they do, they're protecting the interests of their members, and their members, they make their living doing this stuff. I hate to say that because getting someone out of pain is, give somebody their life.
Aren't there things that you can do for a root canal naturally? Like
Yes.
Dr. Darrell and I have talked about, like taking black seed oil.
Yes.
He has the black seed oil I take every day.
Yes. And homeopathics. By the way, in a tooth with deep decay, there are way, way, way too many dentists that are in this mechanical removal of decay, seeing like they got to scrub everything, and then they expose the nerve, and then they go, oh, Lauren, we got to do a root canal now. The nerve is exposed. The decay was so deep. First thing I do in deep decay in our offices is we use ozone. Ozone disinfects that deep decay, and the decay kind of sloughs off. Then you get down to the healthy tooth. And then sometimes I'll do what's called a laser pulp cap. I'll use a little laser light to protect the nerve. And then we build that tooth back up and we keep that tooth vital. There's way too many root canals that are done like a knee-jerk response.
A suspected female serial killer has been captured by police. 30-year-old Sabrina Kaldar is accused of killing 3 people within 3 days, including a woman in her 60s who was found in her Toronto home with trauma to her body. Just 24 hours later, she allegedly stabbed 47-year-old Lance Cunningham to death in a park in Niagara Falls. And the next day, she allegedly stabbed 77-year-old grandfather Mario Billich in a parking lot. He died in the hospital hours later. Investigators say Kaldar was known to the female victim, but believe Cunningham and Billich were randomly targeted. They are also searching for a woman who was seen in CCTV footage buying clothes that Kaldar was later wearing, although it is not known if she was a victim or accomplice.
The pink do-rag is nuts. When people look like this, can we just arrest them?
I've heard from people in the Pentagon that the buzzword in the secret of secrets in the Pentagon is the Sumerian gods are returning, and that's what they're referring to, is that whole area Peter.
Wow. Can you repeat that again, just in case anybody missed it? The buzzword
in the Pentagon, in the military circles that are in the know about the cover-up here, they kind of, in whispered tones, talk about the return of the Sumerian gods. And they're talking about the what we would call aliens or fallen angels returning.
Project Blue Beam, nothing else. This is the manipulation story.
So if you're eating at 10 o'clock at night, what are you doing? What are you doing eating at 10 o'clock at night when your melatonin is starting to come up and come out? And it's telling your pancreas to stop producing insulin, but then you just ate a big fat bowl of ice cream while you're sitting on the couch watching your blue lit screen. So your melatonin can't come out because you're watching your blue lit screen and you're eating all this ice cream that's going to make your body want to produce a lot of insulin. And you've just completely thrown the whole system way off balance.
So apparently the locals over there in North Carolina ain't putting up with nobody's BS anymore. So there's reports out that a FEMA agent who was actually 20 minutes from Asheville or 20 minutes south of Asheville got a whooping from the locals.
What?
And they said, no, you're not, because he was acting arrogant, aggressive, abusive. And yeah, so if you guys might come across that video, the FEMA agents are being put in place by the locals now because they have nothing else to lose. They don't care. Nobody's helping them. And matter of fact, if you guys have probably seen on your video or your FYP, one local after another over there is getting rejected now for their measly little $750
Really?
that Kamala promised. And they're really not even getting that $750 because they don't qualify when they're literally standing out in the streets with no electric, no food, no nothing. But sorry, no, you can't have it because there's certain qualifications. Are you kidding me?
Really?
So, way to go, locals. Stand up for yourself. You guys are doing an amazing job. I mean, that's just the beginning. People need to stand up and put FEMA down because they can't be treating people like that. We are humans. We are God's children, and we are American citizens, and we're not being treated like that. So, yeah, that's amazing.
At this stage, the government is the enemy of the people.
Front is the bow of the vehicle. This is an amphibious Jeep Gladiator. Open this up. Because below me, fully functional fin. So that'll actually turn when you turn the steering wheel. You got a propeller. It's like driving the car, but you're on a river right now, you know?
Joe Rogan has officially been dethroned as the top Spotify podcast. Here is the current top 10. Number 10, The LOL Podcast.
In the best man speech, I kissed Kinsey's grandma. Wait, did I ruin the wedding?
Number 9, This Past Weekend with Theo Von.
I can't believe they let me in the building.
I mean, yeah, because you got a unique look, you know? Look like a Christmas ornament that Jelly Roll would have, you know? Like
Number 8, Crime Junkie.
Johnny opened the door and one of them handed him a number for the DC police.
Number 7, Chains FR.
The strain is propylene glycol formaldehyde. Street name, Guava Ice.
Number 6, Rotten Mango.
The serial killer's feet did not even touch the ground because he's 8 years old.
Number 5, Talk Tour with Haley Welch.
Granny, listen to what I'm saying to you. I was like, spit on it.
Number 4, The Tucker Carlson Show.
You see God or evidence of God in math.
Number 3, Candice.
A pair of identical twins have been handed a $1.5 million settlement after the college wrongly accused them of cheating in a medical exam.
Number 2, The Joe Rogan Experience.
I've read every theory on how they built those pyramids. The Great Pyramid of Giza has 2,300,000 stones in it. Some of them they weigh between 2 and 80 tons. You're dealing with like a gigantic mystery of unfathomable proportion.
And at number 1, The Shaw Ryan Show.
No
I woke up
way.
this morning, and the Sean Ryan Show is the #1 podcast in the world as of October 2nd, 2024.
Really? Sean Ryan show barely cracks 200K on YouTube. Joe Rogan is regularly get 700K to 1 million views.
My house washed away. I had a cat. I had 2 geckos. I lost it all.
Oh man.
We lost everything. Family, friends, homes, our jobs, everything. Our animals. We have nothing. We got family members floating down the river.
Jackie and Alex say they're struggling to find help and that resources are strained.
FEMA's here. You know what FEMA just told us? We can't get you a phone. I have no ID. I have no way to pay for food. He has no way to get gas. We're stuck. So we have to sleep in a car that's leaking with the same clothes we've had on since the...
For now, these strangers have each other until they can find more help and reach family.
She hopped in and she said, "Thank God for country people."
This little boy was nice enough to pick me up.
Reporting in Asheville, North Carolina, for AccuWeather, I'm Bill Waddell.
You know, without TikTok, I would not know this even happened. This is devastating. I hope the federal government steps up to help these people.
What's up, brother?
Got better days, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Listen, I got a question for you. You on the streets, right?
Yeah.
What about if I offer you a job?
That would be awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Can you hold a camera? I'm on social media. If I could hire a guy to hold a camera with me?
I can.
You can?
I can.
Are you to anything? Nothing.
Done.
You're done with it?
Been done.
Yeah?
Yeah.
If you meet me on Monday, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, dog, I got you.
I will be there.
Job and everything. Yeah?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna give you this money. I got you.
Thank you.
What was your name?
Joseph.
Joseph?
Yeah.
CJ, nice to meet you, brother.
Thank you.
I believe you want to turn your life around.
Dude.
I swear to God, I see it in your eyes, bro.
I've been through too much shit. I can't do it anymore.
I see it in your eyes. I swear to God, I see it in your eyes.
I'm there. I will be there at 12 o'clock. I will be there.
Bless us, brother.
Thank you.
Bless us.
Give me the opportunity.
You take care, brother.
I'm praying he shows up and stays.
This is the shittest dog breed, the bloody Yorkshire Terrier. They've got the ego of a lion, the aggression of a drunk bloke at closing time, and the brains of a pebble. You think you're getting a cute lapdog, but what you're actually getting is an ankle-biting, ear-piercing little demon who thinks it's a guard dog trapped in a teddy bear's body. They are like tiny, hairy Karens always demanding attention and barking at the slightest inconvenience. Ever wanted to be the servant of a furry, yapping tyrant? Get a Yorkshire Terrier. Yorkies are the kind of dog that would bark at their own reflection. Yeah, you heard me right. They think everything is a threat, including themselves. Why are they so loud? These bark at everything. A gust of wind, bark. A leaf falls, bark. Your neighbor sneezes 2 houses down, bark. It's like living with a furry fire alarm that's stuck on full volume, and good luck getting them to stop because they've got the listening skills of a lamppost. You say quiet, and they just look at you like, I run this house. You'll never have a moment of peace again. Every single waking hour is filled with their yapping, their neediness, their constant need to prove they're a bigger dog than they are. Congratulations, you've just bought yourself a tiny, yappy dictator who thinks they own you. Good luck with that, mate.
I still want one.
Like, I don't really even shoot dice for my money. I get my money out candy. I ain't gonna even lie. I'm in public. All the money I got on me right now, this shit, all of them at Stumpstead. Ham sandwich. Ham sandwich. Cut off. Ham sandwich.
Keep hustling, good for you. And God, please keep this young man protected. What? When they're little, they eat everything. Get out of here. I would have chopped the hand with Mercedes. No kidding. If you're in Canada, you have to invite him in, give him all your things, and thank him for taking them. Yo, he's causing a scene with that eating.
So the $750 Hurricane Helene relief that all the victims are supposed to be applying for and getting turns out to actually just be a loan. Yes, I y'all not. A fucking loan. So let me break this down for y'all, right? Firstly, they're having people, all the victims, apply for this online. Shady as shit. Second, y'all need to read the fine print of this application. The extreme fine print. Allegedly, the government is giving 1 year to the victims to pay back the $750. If it is not paid back, the government can come and seize your land. I did not want to make a video about this earlier. I saw a couple comments, only 1 or 2 videos on it. I did not want to speak on it. But now, in the past few hours, I've seen several more. Somebody must have really went in and read the fine print on this. And I highly suggest anybody that is applying for this funding and relief to do the same.
Loan? How does that make any sense? And how can they apply online when there is no internet connection?
This is a perfectly cut tree stump. Coal miners found deep underground. That's right. And this, of course, is Egypt in Arizona. Can't forget that one. And of course, we've got this, my all-time favorite. The whole bottom floor was covered up, and nobody knew it until it was a problem. They started digging.
Nobody knew about the basement? What?
No, absolutely not. Do not bring that here. Do not bring that to the States.
Why did he punch the man like that? I'd stop the ride and kick him in the balls.
Did you hear about this? At least 3 parents have turned their children into the LAPD in connection with several convenience store flash mob robberies. That's when large groups rush into a store, steal whatever they can get their hands on, and wreck the shop in the process. According to the LA Times, several 7-Eleven locations were robbed by the same group of young people over the course of a few days. So the parents saw the footage, guys, and said, "That's my kid. You're going to the police station."
And apparently they got charged with robbery.
Yeah. Right. You know what? I think that's compassionate parenting.
That's right.
Tough
love.
love.
You say, you know what? Maybe this will be a minor infraction, but it saves you down the road from doing something real
And you
serious.
know what?
That'll teach them a lesson.
That's exactly right. And it gives them the opportunity to pay their debt to society. And, you know, when they get a little older, they can get their records expunged. But you can't, you have to have some consequences for the action.
Good job, Mom and Dad.
My 12-year-old daughter has $5,000 in her savings from teaching her these 3 simple things. Each week, my kids get $5 for the chores they do around the house, and we charge them once a month for rent, food, and utilities $1 each. And once the payment has been made, we mark it down to confirm the payment in the binder. And with the remaining $2, they put this money towards other categories like saving, investing, and spending. We do this as budgeting helped us not get in debt and saved us money every month. And since implementing these skills, my daughter built a habit of saving her money every month and stopped emotionally spending her money on toys and sweets since using this saving challenge method. As this is something schools don't teach kids, and we wanted to teach our kids about expenses and bills in a safe environment, and this has worked amazingly for us.
So they get $5 a week, so $20 a month, and charge $3 in bills, so that's $17, not $2. It would take her 24 years of saving $17 a month to get to $5,000. Matt is amazing.
Do you hear that? And we are not in the Middle East. We're in the U.S. It's Minnesota, Minneapolis. Phillips Midtown, the most dangerous neighborhood in Minneapolis.
not so much. But where my mother lives, 2-3 malls at the same time at 5 o'clock in the morning, getting on my nerve.
Hey guys, this is an invitation to all the people displaced. I don't have much, but I have 84 acres in eastern Kentucky. I got a place for you to come, to get your bearings, to get ready. If you need to be here permanently, temporarily, it doesn't matter to me. I hope this video gets out. I just had my account banned. I had 105,000 awesome followers, awesome network of people that I lost just like that. And that could happen to every one of us, and it will eventually. It's inevitable.
Ooh.
So while we can, we need to use this app. And right now I need your help, because I don't have that. I'm relying on you to like this, share this, repost this, get this out to the people in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Virginia, Tennessee. We're here for you. Now, Gary, why does this hit you so hard? Well, it's not just hit me so hard because I'm watching people suffer. I'm in eastern Kentucky, but I was born and raised in Rutherford, North Carolina. Chimney Rock, Lake Lure, that's where I used to spend my childhood at the lake. And all my family's there. My aunts, my uncles, my sisters, every bit of my immediate family live in that Rutherford County. And I don't have much. I don't have resources to go down there and take y'all a bunch of resources. I don't have that financially, but what I do have is this mountain, and I invite anyone that needs a place to come. Like I said, temporarily, permanently, it doesn't matter. But my land is your land. We're Americans, and the darkness is all around us, guys. But I'll tell you what, it's time for the light to shine. You're the light. We're the light, man. So if you could just do me a real big favor, guys, like this, share this, repost this. You don't have to follow me. I'm not in this for followers. I'm really not. I just hope this video reaches just a few people. I don't care if it's 5, 10, 15, 12, 1,000, 500. It doesn't matter. If you need a place, DM me. If you know someone that needs a place, DM me. Let's get this video out there, guys. We only have each other. We don't have no man's going to come and save us. No political party's going to save us. We, the people, are all we got right now. If you can't look around and see this, then you're blind. So do me a favor, guys, and let's get this video out. Like I said, my account was banned. I had 100,000 followers, awesome network of people. Lost them all. I hope one of you are watching. I hope all of y'all are watching. I really do. Hope this video gets around, because we need each other, guys. More than ever, we need each other right now. And I'm not going to go rant on about certain things and the truth and the things that I could say, because this video probably won't make it for 5 minutes if I do. But if you know someone, or if you're someone that needs a place to come, that needs a safe place, a place of refuge, give me a DM, guys. Send this video. And one more thing, God bless this great nation.
Real American right there. God bless you, sir.
Heath. His advantage was that he was a genius, but that was also his problem. At just 10, Heath was a champion chess player in Australia. But Heath liked to live life on the edge, and he needed more excitement. So he decided to teach himself how to act, and went full throttle into that. He became known for being an actor in rom-com movies, but Heath wanted more than that. He became extremely famous fast, but he had imposter syndrome, and he thought everyone is going to realise I'm not actually any good. But Heath started to show he could take on a diverse range of different films due to the intense amount of research he would do for every single role, with the Brokeback Mountain changing his life because he realised he could handle the pressure of being in a huge film. The Spider-Man director wanted Heath to become the next Peter Parker, but Heath said, "I've never read comics, I'm not interested." Things in Heath's personal life began to slip. He spent less time with his family, and his partner had enough, and she moved out with his daughter. Heath then would visit one doctor for insomnia and another doctor for his mental health, but his work demands accelerated. He agreed to direct The Queen's Gambit, and Christopher Nolan wanted him to be the Joker in The Dark Knight. But plenty of movie critics and Batman fans thought no way Heath Ledger cannot be playing the Joker. That sort of role should not be for him. But Heath was able to fully immerse himself in the role. He locked himself away for 6 weeks, perfecting the voice, the mannerisms. He would only sleep 2 hours a day because he was obsessed of perfecting it. He even wrote a diary in the perspective of the Joker. Christopher Nolan gave Heath a lot of freedom because he knew Heath knew the Joker role even better than he did. Heath told Christian Bale before the interrogation scene to actually rough me up and do it properly. Don't hold back. After filming was complete for The Dark Knight, he went back home to Australia to show his family what he just filmed, and they were blown away and the sisters told him, "You're definitely going to win an Oscar." Heath didn't really believe he would, and he just laughed it off. As soon as the intense filming finished, he jumped in to what would be his last role. He was deeply exhausted and got pneumonia on set and went to another doctor about that. During the filming and the editing of Dark Knight, Heath had too much of what the doctors gave him to fix his problems in the system. At just 28 years old, he passed. His role in The Dark Knight would make him the first actor to receive an Oscar for a comic book film. And his sisters were right, but he never got to see it. Before passing, Heath said, "Everyone asks if you've got a house, if you're married, what career you do, but no one asks if you're actually happy."
Heath Ledger and Christian Bale, in my eyes, are the best at these roles for Batman and Joker. True masterclass in acting.
Spent in September living in New York City with no budget. Starting off, my mortgage is always $8,900, and my HOA fee is going to be $1,368. My Wi-Fi is going to be $99.99, and my car payment for the month is always $700. And then my parking garage for my car is $325. And I take private Pilates classes, so that's going to be $2,000 for 20 classes. And then having fun and like going out clubbing and stuff was $48,429.53. And then for groceries and going out to eat was $2,505.99. And for travel and transportation, I spent $2,299.12. And then for shopping, I spent $18,824.90. And that brings my total to $85,452.53 for the month of September living in New York City with no budget. And going out clubbing was majority of my expenses for September.
Even if you're rich, I'm confused on why anyone actually needs to spend this much.
If I were to choose to live my life over again, I wouldn't live it in this way. Do you know Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not personally.
No. The book. The end of that book would bring tears to my eyes for years. Christopher Robin has to go to school, and he's telling his friends, the toy animals, that he won't be able to play with them so much anymore. And what I wasn't aware of when I went to medical school and when I was a physician is how driven I was to justify my existence in the world. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. When you're driven to work too hard, you actually ignore what matters. And what matters is what you were telling me last night about how every summer you take a bunch of weeks away from your podcast and you just spend time enjoying your kids and your wife and your family. I didn't do that. I always felt I had to keep working. And the book ends with the statement, and whatever they do or wherever they go in the enchanted forest, the little boy and his bear will always be playing together. And that phrase would bring tears to my eyes for years. People sacrifice their playfulness, their joyfulness, being driven by unconscious needs to validate your existence. And where does that come from? Again, that comes from childhood trauma. Play is so important, and joy is so important. In that sense, we can always keep playing in the enchanted forest, and that's just essential, I think.
Unfortunately, the system does not want us to play. Only work, pay tax, tax, work, tax, bills, bills.
Scammers caught red-handed. Every day for nearly a year, this elderly woman was standing in the street collecting donations. But one day, a man noticed something was odd. Despite the way she was dressed, the woman appeared to look quite young. So a journalist decided to follow her. And that's when they saw something shocking. After collecting money all day, the woman walked off to her car. And when she got out, she was no longer elderly. She was no longer using crutches, but instead was wearing an expensive outfit. She was even caught on camera going on a shopping spree. The next day she went back to her scam, but this time the journalist confronted her.
We've been watching you the last few days and you don't really need those crutches, do you? The jig is up. Why don't you just walk normally like you did this morning?
The fake beggar refused to speak but was never seen again. One day a woman was driving down a rural road. That's when a man flags down her car. The man does not try to hide what he's doing, immediately holding up money showing what he wants. The man even grabs this woman's window wiper, but she bravely tells him to go away, causing the man to get angry. But bravely, the woman doesn't give in, and eventually the man walks away. One day, a Dutch motorcycle vlogger is making a video in Nigeria. That's when she's stopped by police. They act friendly at first, but then this happens.
Give me money. Money. Money.
Money!
The police demand money from this woman. She later posted this to her YouTube channel and it got nearly 9 million views, leading to these two cops being fired.
The cops be like, just give me my money.
Florida is now bracing for yet another hurricane, with the NHC currently projecting it to land as a Category 3 with winds up to 115 miles per hour. So while recovery efforts are still underway from the last one, the National Hurricane Center said that Storm Milton, which formed on Saturday, could bring life-threatening impacts to portions of the west coast of Florida on Wednesday. They believe this storm could gain strength rapidly as it moves across the Gulf of Mexico due to the warm ocean temperatures. And so, in preparation, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis declared a state of emergency for 35 counties. And in the words of the Naples Police Department, here we go again.
I heard there is third one coming after this one. This is cloud seeding at this point.
France and Israel are now beefing after Macron called for a halt in arms deliveries to Israel. He said in an interview that he thinks delivering weapons to Israel is a mistake and that the priority is that we return to a political solution. He then also criticized Israel's decision to send ground troops into Lebanon. Netanyahu heard this and clapped back by posting this video in which he said, "Shame on Macron and other Western leaders for calling for an arms embargo on Israel. As Israel fights the forces of barbarism led by Iran, all civilized countries should be standing firmly by Israel's side." He also added that Israel will win with or without their support. Macron's office has since called Netanyahu's reaction excessive and detached from the friendship between France and Israel. So the question is, should there be a halt in weapons to Israel or not?
Macron does nothing for France. The country looks like Middle East, not anymore like Europe. So it's normal he supports them.
It is so clear to me now why all of these men are in their soft girl princess era.
What?
Like after that Diddy party thing came out and everybody got exposed in Hollywood and we know who's a bottom and who's not. Like, don't you guys put two and two together? Your man is over here rapping to Meek Mill, and Meek Mill is, and most of the rappers in Hollywood are, and these rappers are poisoning your man's mind on how to treat a woman. Meanwhile, these dudes hate women and they're into dudes and they're in their soft girl era. So they're enticing your man to be in his soft girl era too. You guys gotta stop making excuses for this man, because the only thing they are ever taught is how to be in their soft girl princess era, because they keep listening to these people in Hollywood who are in their princess era themselves.
Was getting a ride home in a Ford Econoline van around 8:30 p.m. last Wednesday. That's when a 6-pound rock, about 5 inches wide and 8 inches long, was allegedly dropped from an overpass and crashed through the windshield. The father of 4 was struck in the face and chest. He was declared dead on arrival at the hospital. The 5 teenage defendants were expressionless as their lawyers entered not guilty pleas for them.
Not guilty.
My client has no criminal record whatsoever.
Their distraught families watched the proceedings. So did the grieving father of Kenneth White, the 32-year-old victim.
I buried my mother, my father, and my oldest brother in the last 4 years, and this is the hardest thing I've ever did in my life.
It's not a prank, it's second-degree murder.
Officials say after the incident, the suspects went to McDonald's. Investigators say they found at least 20 rocks on Interstate 75. One weighed more than 20 pounds. The suspects face up to life in prison. But Kenny White Sr., the victim's father, says that's not enough.
Even if they spend 30 years in prison, they get to wake up every single morning. They still get phone calls from their parents. They still get visitors. My son don't get none of that no more. That was taken away from him for something stupid.
The punishment should fit the crime, no arguments. And parents need to be held accountable.
Okay, check this out. So blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. And the Greek word used for meek is praus. And so praus, or prautis, is translated as gentle, mild, or meek. But it can also be used as regulated anger, tame, or subdued. Now this word was used by the Greeks as a military term. And what they would do is they would go out into the wild and capture these wild horses, and they would meeken them. And they would categorize them for different purposes, such as work, like pulling carriages, racing, or to be used as a war horse. Now to be meekened means to be made powerless, subdued by their master. They still hold all the strength and power and resilience, but it is now being directed in the will of the master instead of just running wild. And so now you have these wild-hearted horses being trained and used in battle. These were the best kind of horses because they just had no fear and they would charge full force at the enemy. And as such, Jesus captures the wild-hearted people, the wild horses, people with strength, power, resilience, and he meekens them. He tames them and prepares them for battle. But not everyone is wild-hearted, as some were raised in the stable. And Jesus also categorizes us for different purposes, such as apostleship, prophets, evangelists, shepherd, and teachers. And so once meekened, they could be pointed in the right direction. They also reserve their anger for the right moment under full control. Jesus also says that I am meek and gentle. And Jesus also has a righteous anger, perfect and flawless, and is reserved for the right moment, under complete control. This moment in particular would be the Battle of Armageddon. So mercy now, wrath later. And it's not the fact that Jesus is this wild-hearted, wild-spirited person. It's the fact that he is so strong, so resilient, so powerful. He could destroy an entire army in the snap of his fingers like Thanos. But yet he chooses not to and reserves it for the right moment. It is the strong and the powerful yet self-controlled people who will inherit the earth. Those who have a sword but never have to unsheath it.
Very interesting explanation. Do you know about the reference and definition of meek contextually? Thank you. God bless.
Staff here at the port became aware of screaming and banging coming from a container from that particular ship.
Pounding and beating on the walls of that trailer, trying to get out.
And if you can imagine the heat, no air conditioning.
Can we just think for a moment of what it must have been like for those 39 people, obviously in a desperate and dangerous situation, for their lives to end, suffocated to death in a container.
Found the trailers with a body outside and several that they could visibly see inside once the doors were opened.
35 patients were found in the container when we first arrived.
You don't end up with 35 people in a container for no reason.
So we sent the truck out to pick up the container.
Started pulling it up. It was so heavy, it just it broke the winch. I saw it myself. I couldn't believe it. And just little bitty babies, just all torn to pieces. Their heads chopped off, arms, legs, just
a gruesome discovery. Man. Police say they found 39 bodies inside a container truck.
The court's paperwork is giving us a better idea of what exactly happened in those shipping containers.
We hope that those responsible for putting these people in such humane conditions are prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due. Check this out.
Non-religious people should love the Bible. Here's the truth. I am non-religious. I don't practice any religion. I don't go to church. However, I still think that the Bible is one of the greatest pieces of literature ever written. And I think that because I believe the Bible is the spinal cord to all of Western civilization. No moral values that you hold would exist without the Bible. Case in point, take a look at a person like Harvey Weinstein, a guy who sexually assaults women in order to get what he wants. In modern day society, we view this as reprehensible, and rightly so, because viewing it as reprehensible protects the powerless and it protects women. However, in ancient Rome, if you were part of the wealthy class, you would be expected to treat women in this way because the value system of Rome was set up in such a way that it valued strength over morality. Now you might be thinking to yourself, oh well, if I lived back then, I wouldn't have thought that way. Bullshit. You are a product of the moral system that you were born into. And if you live in the West, the moral system that was handed down to you was one that prized morality and ethics over strength and brutality. Those thoughts came from the Bible and came from Christianity. So do you value a world which prizes liberalism, democracy, and personal freedom? Then my brother in Christ, you should probably start giving the Bible the credit it's due.
Being humble doesn't mean make yourself little. You can be humble and have a bold personality.
Tape got leaked. Other people or whoever has the tapes are now in control of those people. If that's the case, what's the end goal? What are they trying to get these people to do? What is the blackmail for?
It's McMill.
The world's about to change. It really, really is. I want you guys to be prepared for what's about to happen. I believe everything's about to be exposed. Everything. I was just sitting here thinking, and when you can feel it in the air, you can feel it. Americans are pissed. That the world is pissed. It's just America's being last to stand and they're getting to their breaking point. I want you guys to be ready for this. Celebrities will be exposed. Corporations, CEOs will be exposed. Churches will be exposed, white and black. Politicians will be exposed. And I really believe the United States corporation will be destroyed and exposed. I want you guys to be prepared to lose loved ones you know, friends and family. In the mix of this cleaning of the planet,
plain reality. Be prepared for that. Be prepared to come across some very hard times. I urge you to find your tribe. I urge you to stay diligent, vigilant, and discernment on 1,000. You're not going to be able to deny that this post isn't just some fear-mongering post, but is a prelude to things to come. Keep thinking people like me are fear-mongering. Look the f*** around. The government has made its choice. $750 to you, $4,000 to $6,000 a month to people that aren't even citizens. That's not conspiracy. That's in your face.
Yup.
What do you think
That's
all that
crazy.
money for FEMA went? They didn't get it. It went to their new Green New Deal, their invasion. And now you got dock workers that are on strike that just went back due to, some saying, trafficking. You got Amazon that's been on strike too, and that's not being talked about on here at all. We are, since that eclipse, in the era of revolution. And you can feel it. You can feel it. I want you guys, if you take anything from this video, find your tribe. And let me tell you, all skin folk and kinfolk, and just because y'all blood doesn't always make y'all family. The veil will be lifted and people will pick their sides. Everything that you think you know is about to be destroyed. And this is what happens every time when a civilization or a species tries to break through to a new dimension. It will be biblical. Peace to God.
People have no idea what's coming. It's going to be glorious, but very hard, all at the same time.
Documentaries coming out in October are insane. This might be the most excited I've been to share new releases. September 30th, Witches, The Truth Behind the Trials about witch hunts. October 2nd, Unsolved Mysteries Volume 5. October 7th, the Menendez Brothers documentary. If you love documentaries, make sure to hit follow because I post daily and you'll never have to search for something to watch. October 9th, the Scamanda documentary. This goes with the hit podcast about a woman who fakes having cancer. October 15th, Anatomy of Lies. This is about a writer on Grey's Anatomy who was actually lying about her life. October 16th, Sweet Bobby, My Catfish Nightmare. This is about a woman who falls in love with a catfish online and it completely ruins her life. On October 18th, Fanatical, The Catfishing of Tegan and Sarah is releasing on Hulu. This is about a catfishing scheme that targeted the fans of the rock stars Tegan and Sarah. This one doesn't even have a poster yet. October 15th, I Am Not a Monster, The Lois Reese Murders. Last but not least, on October 23rd, This is the Zodiac speaking about the main suspect of the Zodiac killings. Whew, that was a lot. Let me know which one you're most excited for. If you're looking for more crazy stories, I just released my podcast and episode 2 is out about the terror of the CIA.
I want to watch The Witch Hunt. I think it's on National Geographic.
Sam Altman raised the largest venture capital round in history yesterday, $6.6 billion for OpenAI. I'll talk about things you might not know about that raise. But the thing to take away is that is probably not the biggest raise that we're going to have this year or next year. OpenAI is going to bust the doors off with another raise if they want their goals done, and we'll talk about that too. So 6.6 billion, already huge, already the biggest raise in VC history. Who was in on it? So Tiger Global, which is Masayoshi Son's instrument that he uses for investment, famous during the dot-com era. He's back. He's in with Khosla Ventures and with Microsoft and NVIDIA. There's a few others participating. Notably, Apple thought about it and did not. Tim Cook decided not for me. I wonder if the valuation was too spicy for him. Valuation has doubled since the spring, so they're now coming in, I think, at $157 billion post-money, which is ridiculous. And what's funny is, technically, these are convertible notes. The whole thing depends on converting OpenAI from not-for-profit to for-profit, and there's some complicated financial engineering going on to move Sam Altman to a spot where he gets a traditional share of equity for a founder. There's a lot of paperwork for lawyers. Fortunately, with $6.6 billion, you can afford to pay some lawyers to figure that out. What else is interesting? One is that there are open requests from OpenAI, haha, pun intended, to not invest in places where talent is draining. So please don't invest in Ilya and Safe Superintelligence. That's one that they've asked them not to invest in. And don't invest in XAI, which is Elon's company. Please don't invest in Anthropic. There's a couple others. And apparently investors are more or less okay with this and are fine just putting the capital into OpenAI. This is one of the things that Sam Altman is uniquely good at. Like, his ability to persuade and fundraise is clearly very good just to raise the round he has, but he's also able to rally people such that they believe in his vision to the point where they're not going to hedge their bets with other AI bets. And this matters because what would happen if you invested in OpenAI, but Ilya is right and Safe Superintelligence is the one that gets to AGI first? And so, in a sense, Sam is trying to triangulate and ensure that OpenAI is the one soaking up the capital in the space, and they have the ability to go all the way. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Looking ahead, if you're getting to the point where you're literally building nuclear reactors to power massive, massive data centers to make a run at artificial general intelligence next year or the year after, you have to start to break ground on those reactors and pay bills on those new data centers next year, which means you have to raise the money for that. And you're already losing money. So they lost $5 billion. That was the rumor this year on revenue of 3.7. And they are guessing that they will get to 11.6 billion next year in revenue. Again, rumors out of the raise. Who knows what's really real at this point? So yeah, $8 billion incremental in revenue sounds great, but not if you have to pay out $100 billion for data centers. And so it just doesn't add up. Like you get $6 billion in or $6.5 billion in to keep you going. That, covers a year at your current burn rate, but you're rapidly accelerating your burn rate. You are saying that you need massive infusions of cash to get to the kind of artificial general intelligence data training at scale that you're looking for. And where are you going to get it? Where are you going to get $100 billion? You're going to go back to the same people who just put money on the table, and they are loss averse now. They don't want to lose the 1 billion, 1.2 billion, several hundred million that they just put in. So they're going to think about it and think about coming back. And this is sovereign wealth fund level money. Like, this is money that like very, very few investment groups in the world have the ability to put up. And so I don't know what's going to happen, but I do wonder if we are going to see the same group plus a few more sovereign wealth funds pitch in like December of this year or February timeframe of next year with an absolutely monstrous raise that is designed to make a run at artificial general intelligence. Because as big as the biggest raise in VC history is, it's not big enough for the ambitions that Sam has outlined publicly. So there's still a gap. This is going to patch the hole as far as their current burn rate with $5 billion. It's not going to be enough for a big run at artificial general intelligence. So congrats to Sam, and we will have to see what the future holds for OpenAI. What do you think about the raise? Were there any details that I missed? Let me know in the comments. Cheers.
This money is for NVIDIA and cloud providers. They are the real winners.
Do you have any fears towards death?
Actually, I'm kind of looking forward to it when the time is ready, and I'm ready right now. If this would be the time, I would be ready.
How do you kind of talk yourself out of that negative thought and still be excited to get up the next day and say, oh, I have another day?
It's my concept of the 5 L's. During a pregnancy, the mother and the baby are one being, life and love. The 3rd L is laughter. Life without laughter is cold, it's mean, it breaks families up, it causes wars. But laughter with love is joy and happiness. And the 4th L is labor. Labor without love is, oh, I gotta get up this morning. But labor with love is bliss. And the 5th one is listening. Listening without love is empty sound, the clanging gong. Words that mean nothing, but listening with love is understanding.
Older people have so much wisdom. Listen and learn. She was a beautiful soul. Rest in peace, lady.
What is soul food? I mean, I know it's this, but like...
The history of soul food is that was when the slave master would give their slaves the food that they thought was not even good. You know, they were so intelligent. They took something that was supposed to be meant for no good and turned it into a delicacy. That's why we call it soul, because it's food that was cooked from the soul.
So it's interesting, Her Ladyship said, soul food is making something beautiful from scraps, because that's a theme that is repeated all around the world. We spent a lot of time in Korea. Dishes like budae-jjigae was made from the discarded ingredients of military bases after the Korean War. It's the human spirit to kind of make something good out of something terrible.
I want to try soul food.
This documentary is what nightmares are made of. It is the kind of story that you would be told while camping to scare you. In 1987, days before Thanksgiving, French bicyclist Alain Malissard was sitting in his tent on the Oregon coast reading a book late at night. He had a light on that was silhouetting his body so that anyone outside the tent would know where he was sitting. If you love documentaries, make sure to hit follow because I post daily and you'll never have to search for something to watch. On Thanksgiving, Alain was found brutally murdered. Someone had attacked him through the tent and bludgeoned him to death. Police immediately start investigating this case and they discover that Alain was biking across Canada, then to bike across America and fly back home to France. And by all accounts, he was a wonderful person, so why would someone just come out of the woods at night and do this to him? This documentary gets into all the gritty details and who could have possibly committed this horrible crime. And I definitely won't be camping anytime soon. Let me know what you think about this in the comments.
The Book of Enoch is not part of the Bible for a reason. It's because it's not biblical. The Book of Enoch comes from Jewish mysticism, my old religion, Kabbalah. You see, that book was created by Kabbalists, okay? And it's made for Kabbalists. It's an esoteric book. And when you think you're reading about Enoch, you're actually reading about Metatron.
Metatron.
Okay? You need to understand that. And Metatron is the scribe angel in Kabbalah, okay? And he is a fallen angel, right? He's fallen. When Satan fell from heaven, he took a third of heaven with him. That includes Metatron. We see this depicted in the series like Supernatural. Metatron's there. He's the scribe angel. That's Enoch in Jewish mysticism. And the entire series, Supernatural, is based off of Kabbalah. And I'm an ex-Kabbalist, okay? And they even have Abaddon, which if you know about Abaddon, that comes from Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism. All right, so these things are not biblical. And it's really hard for me as an ex-Kabbalist who's now saved in Christ to watch people take my old religion that Jesus saved me from, that I needed supernatural saving from the Holy Spirit. I'm watching Christians take what Jesus saved me from and try to give it to people and say this is Christianity. It's not. It's not. The Book of Enoch is Kabbalistic. It's an esoteric text. And that's why a lot of you don't know that it's actually Metatron. So, yeah, esoteric Luciferianism. That's what this is called. We need to use this term because it is the most correct term because it is hidden and it seems good, right? But it's the false light. You know, Lucifer, light bearer, false light, fell as lightning. We don't like him. Not a fan, right? So yeah, if you are a Christian, I encourage you to realize that the Book of Enoch is an esoteric work. It's not made for Christians. Like, it's not made for non-Jewish mystics. And if a Christian understands it, it's because they are wise as a serpent, you know, wise as a Luciferian, harmless as a dove, okay? So, my dear Christians, please understand, the Book of Enoch is not biblical. It is not safe to recommend for others to read it, telling them that it is part of the Bible.
Nope.
None of the books of Enoch are biblical. Don't even come here in my comments saying, oh, this one and this one are. No. Nope. You've fallen for esotericism. You're only looking at, you guys are reading the exoteric, which is why you're so compelled to tell me that it's biblical. But that's why I am calling you to be wise as serpents, as the people I came from. I was a serpent, so I know what I'm looking at. So when I tell my brothers and sisters, hey, I'm an ex-serpent, you guys are trying to give serpent doctrine to our brethren and our sisters, what are you doing? And then you all tell me that I'm in error. This is part of my testimony. This is part of my testimony. Do you understand? Souls are at stake here. This isn't a game.
Yep.
This isn't a game to me. The book of Enoch is not biblical. It comes from Kabbalah.
I'm with this lady 100%. Hey, but let me know how you feel about this in the comments. And be respectful.
If you have a root canal, get it out. You've always got a low-grade infection in that root on that jaw permanently. So not only do you have a dead tooth, you've got a low-grade infection. The body has to constantly fight 24 hours a day for the entire time that tooth is in your mouth. So what is the answer? Get it out. The tooth is dead. Don't leave it in there. And get a zircon implant. Don't let them put a titanium in there. If they put a titanium implant in there, which they say is stronger and better, is not. It's a metal that's in your body. Now you have a chunk of metal that is radiating metal energy of whatever sort on that meridian. That's why zircon is so important, because that's ceramic and they're strong. They're a little bit more money, but they're worth it. And then they can put the tooth that they're going to manufacture for your mouth onto that implant, and it's going to be permanent, and you're going to remove all of that negative energy off of that meridian that is communicating 24 hours a day to that part of your body that you want to have good communication.
Any dentists who like to verify this in the comment, don't hesitate, please.
Muscle is your organ of longevity. If you don't understand that it's not about, I don't want to bulk, I don't feel like training, I want to look lean, I want to look skinny, but you're not thinking far. You have to realize that muscle is the only thing that's going to make you age young, age gracefully. If you're worried about aging, then you should be worrying about your muscle composition, because that's what's going to allow you to stand up like this when you're 70 instead of standing up like this at 70. That is what's going to help you. It's only muscle. There's a huge difference between men that train and men that don't train. If you look at men at 70 years old and just see the difference of how they can pick themselves up and down, walk very comfortably. They look like they're 40. You see amazing body composition because muscle is the organ of longevity and it will keep you young. The idea is not to be old and stay old at 90. The idea is to be healthy at 90, to feel independent at 90. It's not just to be 90. I don't want to be 90 and feel like everybody needs to help me and I can't stand up by myself. I want to be 90 and self-sufficient. And the only thing that's going to help you get there is eating properly and muscle.
What do you want from us?
Money.
Who are you to follow me?
Give me $100. Stop.
Excuse me, who are you to follow me? What are you doing right now?
Ivy, stay here.
What are you doing? You're violating people. What the fuck you want?
Ivy, come to me.
Is there even a baby there?
What do you mean? You stalking me and this is good for you to stalk me?
We're trying to stop scammers.
You want me to take your phone and throw it in the water? And then you can go jump for it? Why are you stalking us? Stop following us. You're threatening us.
You're scamming people.
You're threatening us. You know that. You're a adult man stalking us.
Where are you guys walking to?
Because you're stalking us.
He said your mother house. Hey, if people on the corner have new shoes or anything brand on, my money stays in my wallet.
Wait till you find out my latest thing, which is that trees and plants, some more than others, release chemicals called phytoncides that actually boost our immune system. They trigger the release of natural killer cells in our immune system that can fight off more infections and cancers. So we're constantly, fighting off small infections and cancers and not even realizing that that's happened. Obviously, when they proliferate massively and the immune system can't keep up with them, that's when we become sick. But if you, ideally, forest bathing is where this all came from. But if you go out out and spend time, you know, by the ocean or in the mountains or in the forest, even if you have more plants in your house and, you know, if you have a garden rather than just a terrace or a deck or whatever, then you are getting the benefits of those chemicals from trees and
this is
plants.
good.
Isn't that incredible?
Just by being
Incredible.
in close proximity to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always just felt the benefit from keeping like life, really.
You want to see something that's about to blow your mind? Check this out. Did you know that ancient Persia is today's Iran? And did you know that Babylonia or Babylon and the Assyrians is modern day Iraq? And did you know that Kush is modern day Ethiopia? And did you know that Greece started around the same time where Jacob was still living? If you like to learn content like this, make sure to give a follow.
I'm gonna say it for you. They don't like you. They're not like us. No. They don't like us. The white man don't like you. The Spanish man don't like you. The Chinese man don't like you. The turkey man don't like
What are
you.
you talking about?
If there was a chicken man, he wouldn't like your ass neither. Nobody likes you because you're a god and you're a goddess. Learn to not like yourself, but learn to love yourself.
I'm not a god, but a servant of God. I am vessel for his service.
If I talk about a contract with the devil, TikTok go crazy. I have different bans, I have different videos, they are blocked. And I've already seen on TikTok, if you make a video, you can stay on a certain level. But if you go to 2.0 and you want to go to a little bit higher level, they block me, of course. And it goes so far that algorithms really like time watchers. And why it work like time watchers? Because it is binary codes. Maar dat is een video for later. Good evening.
They ban you because you are exposing their dirty works. Thank you for keeping us informed.
Here's a man that has just perfected cheating on his wife. Holy Any guy that comes through with wet hair, you know he just got out of the shower from a nice massage. Robert Kraft who?
Yeah. Here's a guy who beats his pet bird.
Hey, Polly! Puts his parrot in a chokehold. You guys are so spot on. I'm his son, I can't believe
The world has too few people that can laugh at themselves like this.